Hi, good morning, students. In my previous lecture on the Muslim law, we were on the topic of divorce. We have seen that divorce is something which the Prophet absolutely detested. He went to the extent of saying that of all detestable things on earth, divorce is the most detestable. Divorce we must see in the context of the Arab customs which were prevailing at that time. It was easy to marry, it was easy to divorce, remarry the same woman 10 times in a day. The sword of divorce was always hanging on the head of the woman, of the wife. The Prophet could not swish the whole thing with a magic wand, but he could put a check and balance. And that is the reason why the law of divorce is basically, the Islamic law of divorce is basically putting in checks and balances. They could not do away with the concept of talaq straight away. But then certain restrictions could be laid. Those restrictions were that in the approved form of talaq, called talaq ul sunnah, which can be further divided into two parts, talaqul ahsan and talaqul hasan. फर्क क्या है? तलाकुल ahsan में he just pronounces a single talaq and waits for 3 menstruation periods to finish. The period between 2 menstruation periods is called tuhar. So a talaq must be announced during the tuhar. And moment the third menstruation period stops or comes, there we find that it is now, the divorce becomes irrevocable. It becomes ban. In the Hasan type of talaq, the Muslim husband pronounces talaq 3 times in the 3 tuhars. On the third pronouncement of talaq, it becomes irrevocable or ban. There was a time period of 3 months. So a man could always realize his mistake, or maybe they could prevail, the parents and others could prevail upon them to rescind his decision, and then they could save the institution of marriage. This aspect of waiting for 3 months becomes a very important cornerstone of Muslim law. Now, the third type of talaq. We had discussed these 2 types of talaq in my previous lecture, talaqul hasan and talaqul ahsan. These both are approved forms of talaq because the Prophet approved them. The third type of talaq, called talaq ul biddat, B-I-D-D-A-T, also called talaqul bidda, B-I-D-D-A, also called sometimes talaq ul biddai, B-I-D-D-A-I, whichever name it may be called. Firstly, this talaqul biddat is not recognized by Shias. This is recognized only by Sunnis. Talaqul biddat came into existence somewhere in the 2nd century of Islam. And it is the disapproved form of talaq. That is why the Shias don't accept it. Only the Sunnis accept it. But then it has become such a common form of divorce, especially in India, that even jurists like Mullah, they say that this is the most common form of divorce in India. In this, what happens is that there is 3 pronouncements in consecutive go. For example, within one tuhar or at one moment, within one tuhar, he may say, I divorce you. After 2 days, he may say, I divorce you. Another 1 day and he says, I divorce you. Or there may be a single declaration of talaq in which he makes one declaration, I divorce you, I divorce you, I divorce you. Moment he utters the third time, the divorce becomes irrevocable. It becomes ban. The talaqul biddat was never envisaged by the Prophet. This form of talaq is arbitrary, and the basic tenets of Islam are not being followed here. In the sense that the Prophet had clearly said that whenever there is any talaq, firstly, there should be a reasonable cause. Secondly, there should be efforts of reconciliation by whoever is concerned with both the boy and the girl. In such cases of talaqul biddat, there is no such concept of reconciliation. There is no scope for reconciliation. There is no time to think. And that is the reason why these 3 pronouncements of talaq uttered either at one single go or within one tuhar are, we can say, bordering on cruelty on the woman. Since it does not come from the Prophet himself, इसका जेनेसिस प्रॉफिट के ना सुन्ना में है और ना तो होली कुरान में, तो बिल्कुल ही नहीं है. However, इसका चलन क्योंकि 2nd century से शुरू हो गया, it became a way of life. And as I said, it became so common that everybody started practicing it. Now, you know, पहली बार 1993 में एक पिटीशन डली थी उत्तर प्रदेश में, इलाहाबाद में. खलेम निसा, KHLEMNISSA, खलेम निसा वर्सेस स्टेट ऑफ उत्तर प्रदेश. ये एक रिट पिटीशन डली थी जिसमें उस टाइम पे तिलहारी जज थे. उन्होंने कहा था कि तलाकुल बिद्दत इज अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल एंड कॉन्ट्ररी टू आर्टिकल्स 14, 15 एंड 21. ये ज्यादा रिपोर्ट नहीं हुआ. This was not reported because natural है कि जब सारी सोसाइटी एक चीज को फॉलो कर रही होती है तो ऐसी चीजें रिपोर्ट नहीं होती because they become very controversial. However, it was always thought to be against human rights of a wife, and this matter came up before the Honorable Supreme Court. This matter came up in the famous case of Shahira Banu, SHAYARA, Shahira Banu versus Union of India, on 22nd August 2017. Triple Talaq was now declared as unconstitutional by a constitution bench of the Supreme Court, and that too by a razor thin majority. 3-2 की majority से triple talaq was declared as unconstitutional. You know, it was, if you read the judgment, जो मुस्लिम कंट्रीज हैं उन्होंने ऑलरेडी बैन किया हुआ है. पाकिस्तान, बांग्लादेश, श्रीलंका, they have already banned talaqul biddat. It is only India which was carrying on. We have, in consequence of this judgment, an act on this. Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Marriage Act 2019. let's go through this act. So Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Marriage Act 2019, इस पे पूरा क्वेश्चन इस बार आएगा, ध्यान रखना है. Now, I'll read this act. The following act of the Parliament received the assent of the President on 31st July 2019 and is hereby published for general information. The Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Marriage Act 2019. It is dated 31st July 2019. If we go to the preamble, though the preamble word is not there, but the objects and reasons are given in the very beginning. It says, it is an act to protect the rights of married Muslim women and to prohibit divorce by pronouncing talaq by their husbands and to provide for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. Firstly, divorce by talaq is being prohibited, and all the incidental matters and connected matters are also being enumerated in this act. Now the question arises, has talaq per se been banned by this law, or is it only talaqul biddat? For this purpose, we go to the definition of talaq as is given in section 2, clause C. Talaq means talaqul biddat. So talaqul hasan and talaqul hasan has not been barred or banned by this law. It is only talaqul biddat or any other similar form. The word is any other similar form of talaq having the effect of instantaneous and irrevocable divorce pronounced by a Muslim husband. So what is the definition of talaq which is being banned by this 2019 act? It is only the talaqul biddat, or if there is any other name of a similar talaq in which the talaq is instantaneous and irrevocable, then this law applies only to those talaqs. Since talaqul hasan and talaqul ahsan is not an instantaneous talaq, that is why it will not come within the ambit of 2019 Act of women and the Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Marriage Act. We proceed. Preliminary, Chapter 1. The Act may be called Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Marriage Act 2019. It shall extend to the whole of India except the state of Jammu and Kashmir. However, this has been repealed. It shall be deemed to have come force on 19th day of September 2018. Now, if you notice, 2018-19 सितंबर से ये हो गया है, जबकि ये dated है 31st July 2019. In other words, there is a retrospective effect of this act. ये क्वेश्चन प्रीलिम्स का है. 19 सितंबर 2018 को ये it has come into vogue. Now that means this is one of the rare cases where a law is coming into effect from a previous date. It is dated 31st July 2019. It shall be deemed to have come into force on 19th September 2018. Please keep this in mind. Now, Section 2 gives us some definitions. In this act, unless the context otherwise requires, electronic form shall have the same meaning assigned to it in clause 5 of subsection 1 of section 2 of IT Act 2000. So electronic form में talaq was allowed. It is a form of talaq. One could give a talaq on WhatsApp or even all those. Now here also it covers that electronic form will be taken in the same way as the definition has been given in the IT Act 2000. B. Magistrate means a judicial magistrate of the first class exercising jurisdiction under CRPC 1973 in the area where the Muslim woman resides. दो एस्पेक्ट हैं यहाँ प्रीलिम्स के. पहला, ये कौन ट्राई करेगा ये केसेस? JMIC करेगा, वो हम आगे जाके देखेंगे. कौन है JMIC? कौन मैजिस्ट्रेट ऑफ द फर्स्ट क्लास है? जो CRPC से क्रिएटेड है. और अब उसका एरिया कौन सा होगा? जहां मुस्लिम वुमन रिजाइड करती है. सो वेयर द मुस्लिम वुमन रिजाइड्स. तलाक, we have just seen talaqul biddat. Chapter 2. Declaration of talaq to be void and illegal. दो चीजें हैं. अगर कोई तलाकुल बिद्दत देता है वो तलाक नहीं माना जाएगा. और अब सेकंड पॉइंट, इलीगल भी है. Section 3. Any pronouncement of talaq by a Muslim husband upon his wife. Now talaq here would only mean talaqul biddat. By words, either spoken or written, or in electronic form, or in any other manner whatsoever, shall be void and illegal. Talaqul biddat is being declared, however it may have been given, by spoken, electronic form, or any other form. It is now being declared as both void. That means even if now anybody gives a talaqul biddat, it has no value of this. It does not lead to dissolution of marriage. And not only that, it is now illegal. Section 4. Any Muslim husband who pronounces talaq referred to in section 3 upon his wife shall be punished. So now it becomes an offense. It is not only void, it is also now an offense. Any Muslim husband who pronounces talaq referred to in section 3 upon his wife shall be punished with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 3 years and shall also be liable to fine. एक तो तलाक उसका मान्य नहीं है, एक उसको 3 साल की सजा हो सकती है and fine. Chapter 3. Protection of the rights of married Muslim women. Now this chapter is specifically meant to protect the rights of a married Muslim woman. Section 5. Without prejudice to the generality of the provisions contained in any other law for the time being in force. Now what does this mean? Without prejudice to the generality of the provisions contained in any other law for the time being in force. अगर कोई जनरल लॉ का इथॉस कुछ और है वो वही रहेगा. However, notwithstanding that, अब उसको विदाउट प्रेजुडिस हम उसको ओवरराइड नहीं कर रहे. बहुत सारे हमारे लॉज हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल हमारे पास 1986 का है, मुस्लिम मैरिज प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट है हमारे पास. हमारे पास 1939 प्रोटेक्शन ऑफ मुस्लिम मैरिजेस एक्ट है विमेन का. तो उनको प्रेजुडिस नहीं कर रहे हैं, कुछ उनको नेगेटिव नहीं कर रहे हैं. A married Muslim woman upon whom talaq is pronounced shall be entitled to receive from her husband such amount of subsistence allowance for her and her dependent children as may be determined by the magistrate. अब यहां पे वर्ड मेंटेनेंस नहीं है, जानबूझ के वर्ड मेंटेनेंस नहीं यूज किया गया, सबसिस्टेंस अलाउंस वर्ड यूज किया गया है. मेंटेनेंस टू अ मुस्लिम वाइफ इज एज पर इस्लाम. इस्लाम में 3 महीना जब तक इद्दत का पीरियड चलता है तब तक सिर्फ मेंटेनेंस मिलता है. उसकी वजह से हमारा शाहबानू का केस आया था, हम अगला टॉपिक करेंगे, जहां पे 125 सीआरपीसी में मुस्लिम वुमन वाज आल्सो एंटाइटल्ड. However, there was a hue and cry, and that is why the 1986 law was passed, protection of rights of Muslim women. उसके अंदर पूरा एक सिस्टम दिया हुआ है मेंटेनेंस का, और एज वेल एज प्रोविजंस फॉर हर एग्जिस्टेंस. 1986 के लॉ नॉट विथ स्टैंडिंग, दिस इज ओवर एंड अबव. ये उन लॉज को प्रेजुडिस नहीं करता. ये लॉ अपने आप में अकेला खड़ा है. आगे जाके हम देखेंगे, क्योंकि मेंटेनेंस पे बहुत झगड़े हुए हैं, लॉट ऑफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट जजमेंट्स, एंड ऑलवेज एज यूजुअल सुप्रीम कोर्ट कम्स टू द रेस्क्यू ऑफ द डाउन ट्रॉडन. और एक डैनियल लतीफी का केस आएगा, हम बाद में देखेंगे. शमीम आरा है और बहुत सारे केसेस हैं जिनके अंदर वुमन को प्रोटेक्ट किया गया था. वो जो मिल रहा है वो मिल रहा है, दैट इज डिफरेंट, विदाउट प्रेजुडिस टू दोज लॉज. अब अगर मैजिस्ट्रेट को लगता है कि इसको तलाक दे दिया, इसको घर से बाहर निकाल दिया है, इमीडिएट सबसिस्टेंस, मेंटेनेंस वर्ड यूज नहीं हुआ है, सबसिस्टेंस, जीने के लिए, खाने के लिए पैसा चाहिए, तो वो जो मैजिस्ट्रेट, ये JM1 हम पढ़ चुके हैं, वो डिटर्मिन करेगा, दैट विल बी द डिटर्मिनेंट. सो इन दिस पहला पॉइंट क्या है कि मोमेंट इट इज प्रोनाउंस, पहला राइट वुमन को क्या मिला इस एक्ट से? शी गेट्स अ राइट टू अ सबसिस्टेंस अलाउंस over and above any maintenance which can be awarded to him either in any secular law like 125 or in their own personal law or in the 1986 Protection of Muslim Women Against Muslim Marriages Act. ये एक और है, और इसलिए जान के वर्ड ना मेंटेनेंस यूज हुआ ना प्रोविजंस यूज हुआ, यहां पे सबसिस्टेंस वर्ड यूज कर रहा है. तो जैसे ही कोई तलाकुल बिद्दत देता है, पहला बात तो वो तलाक मान्य नहीं है. दूसरा, अब उसने वाइफ को निकाल दिया होगा तो उसका सबसिस्टेंस अलाउंस इमीडिएटली दे सकता है. Section 6, notwithstanding anything contained in any other law for the time being in force, a married Muslim woman shall be entitled to custody of her minor children in the event of pronouncement of talaq by her husband in such manner as may be determined by the magistrate. Normally, तलाक का और कभी भी डिसोल्यूशन ऑफ मैरिज का एक सबसे बड़ा जो एंगल होता है वो होता है कस्टडी ऑफ चिल्ड्रन. ये एक ऐसी तलवार होती है जो हस्बैंड हमेशा मां के सिर पे टांगता है, मतलब अपनी वाइफ के सिर पे टांगता है. बहुत सारी विमेन बच्चों के लिए चुप रहती हैं कि मेरी कस्टडी चली जाएगी. दे आर रिच, दे कैन अफोर्ड लॉ, दे कैन अफोर्ड गुड एडवोकेट्स, मेरे बच्चे की कस्टडी चली जाएगी, बच्चे की वजह से वो चुप रहती है. इस लूप होल को इन्होंने यहां पे ब्लॉक कर दिया. माइनर बच्चों की कस्टडी वाइफ के पास ही रहेगी. रीड दिस अगेन. सो सेकंड जो अब हम दे रहे हैं प्रोटेक्शन मैरिड वाइफ को जिसको तलाक मिल रहा है, the woman shall be entitled to the custody of her minor children in the event of this talaq. So पहला उसको subsistence allowance, दूसरा उसके बच्चों की कस्टडी उसके पास रहेगी. तीसरा, no person accused of an offense punishable under this act shall be released on bail. Bail भी नहीं मिलेगी. No person accused of an offense under this offense shall be released on bail unless the magistrate on an application filed by the accused and after hearing the married Muslim woman upon whom talaq is pronounced is satisfied that there are reasonable grounds for granting bail to such person. Bail will be granted by the magistrate, no doubt about that. But it will not be a matter of right. It is not, I will not say it's a non-bailable offense. For the first time, we are seeing another type of bail. Bail provisions हम पढ़ते हैं 436 CRPC में, bailable, matter of right, non-bailable, जहां matter of right नहीं होता है. यहां पे हम एक तीसरी टाइप की बेल देख रहे हैं कि बेल नॉर्मली तो नहीं दी जाएगी, हाँ एक हालत में दी जा सकती है. क्या हालत है? लेट्स रीड दैट अगेन. On an application filed by the accused and after hearing the married Muslim woman upon whom talaq is pronounced is satisfied. इसका मतलब है वाइफ का बहुत बड़ा रोल बन गया. अगर वो चाहेगी तभी तलाक मिलेगा, तभी बेल मिलेगा. सो अगर किसी ने तलाकुल बिद्दत दिया, पहली बात तो वो तलाक मानने नहीं है, दूसरा पनिशेबल है, 3 साल की सजा है. बेल तब तक नहीं मिलेगी जब तक उसकी वाइफ की सुनवाई नहीं होगी जिसको उसने तलाक दिया है, और उसकी सुनवाई होने के बाद अगर मैजिस्ट्रेट को लगता है कि बेल दी जा सकती है तो फिर बेल तब मिलेगी. You know, this is for the first time we are giving immense power to a woman. The question arises, is it against the right to equality? क्या ये ज्यादा शार्प नहीं कर दी तलवार? ये तलवार से गला काट रहे हैं हस्बैंड का, क्या ये ज्यादा पैनी नहीं कर दी? नो. जो हालात है, it does come under reasonable classification under Article 14. So in my own humble view, it is not violative of Article 14. Also, Article 15 Clause 3 very clearly says that special laws can be made in favor of women and children. I can invoke Article 15 Clause 3 and again justify this law. And thirdly, the power of talaqul biddat, in my own humble opinion, was an arbitrary law. Is it fair that the wife is always under a terror that my husband, for no ostensible reason, would suddenly wake up in the morning and say, okay, मैं तुम्हें तलाक देता हूं, तलाक देता हूं, तलाक देता हूं, and that's the end of it? Is it fair? Is it not blatantly violative of our human rights? Is this actually constitutional? A lot of hue and cry was made by a lot of Muslim jurists. I, with utmost regard to their legal acumen and their knowledge of the Shariat, I do feel that the Honorable Supreme Court took a very bold and a very progressive step. This type of talaqul biddat was never approved by the Prophet. It came into vogue 2nd century of Islam. It was never the will of Allah, in my own considered opinion. And the banning and making it offense is definitely a step towards the right direction for empowerment of Muslim women. If you remember, at that time when this law was passed, there was a immense feeling of satisfaction and relief to all the Muslim women who dared to come on camera. Already the Hindu law has been made very stringent by the 1955 Hindu Marriage Act. The Parsi law is also very stringent. The Christian law is also very stringent. The Christian Divorce Act is there. The secular law is also very stringent. The Special Marriage Act is very clear. It was only in the Muslim law that this one problem always was there. Though even now, I feel that there should be a uniform civil code, as is envisaged by Article 44. But then I guess the will of the people will have to be given a complete overhauling process, has to go through. The nation must stand up as a nation. Any personal law which is against male or female or children, and definitely does not stand on the anvil of the Constitution, needs to be changed. Of course, we, like the Prophet, we cannot wish away personal laws with a magic wand. It takes time. It needs education. I've had a lot of Muslim friends in my career, and I've seen Muslim law develop over a period of decades. What Muslim law is today, what Muslim women are today, were not so maybe 20 years back, 25 years back. They have become more educated, they have become more emancipated. And I guess society takes care of its own laws, and society will automatically change laws which do not stand the test of time. Already the concept of halala is also under consideration with the Honorable Supreme Court. However, I do wish and pray that a day comes when we get above the petty politics of religion, caste, creed, color, region, and we have uniform secular laws, whether personal laws, criminal laws, civil laws, all over India. That is my dream of a vibrant, developed India. We can't be bogged down by such petty things as inequalities, and that too in marriage. Section 8. The Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Marriage, Second Ordinance 2019 is hereby repealed. Since the ordinance has been converted into an act, naturally, ordinance does not remain. Notwithstanding such repeal, anything done or any action taken under the Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Marriage, Second Ordinance 2019, shall be deemed to have been done or taken under the provisions of this Act. Any action taken during the promulgation of the ordinance will be now justified and protected. That means we now have again a retrospective effect of the Act extending back to the Second Ordinance 2019. So I hope now everybody is clear about this very important law, and there is no confusion regarding this. Okay, now that we are clear on this, we proceed. These were the three types of talaq which we have seen. So talaqul ahsan, talaqul hasan, and talaqul biddat. Now that we are clear with these, and we have just gone through the the 2019 Act, we now proceed. Now, question arises, when does the talaq become irrevocable? ऐसे छोटे 5-5 नंबर के क्वेश्चन आते हैं. प्लीज अपने नोट्स बनाते रहना. जो मेरे क्लास नोट्स हैं, दे आर मोर देन इनफ. अगर आपने वो बना लिए हैं, आपका पेपर 2 पूरा ही तैयार हो जाएगा. बहुत हिंदू लॉ और मुस्लिम लॉ में मैं आपको कंप्लीट नोट्स देता रहता हूं, ताकि कोई भी क्वेश्चन बाहर आएगा ही नहीं. ओके, सो व्हेन डज तलाक बिकम इररिवोकेबल? व्हेन डज तलाक बिकम बैन? तलाक ए बिद्दत now of course is void. However, before it became void, it was irrevocable immediately after its pronouncement. तलाकुल बिद्दत होते ही खत्म, वहीं से मैरिज खत्म हो जाती थी. It became irrevocable immediately on its pronouncement. तलाकुल ahsan, तलाक उल ahsan जो है वो कब बैन होगा, वो कब इररिवोकेबल होगा? जैसे ही इद्दत का पीरियड खत्म होगा, जैसे ही 3rd मंथ खत्म होगा, 3rd तुहर खत्म होगा, वैसे ही बैन हो जाएगा. वहां पे प्लीज रिमेंबर, एक बार तलाक बोला जाता है, फिर 3 मेंस्ट्रुएशन पीरियड्स की वेट करते हैं, तो वो जैसे ही 3rd होगा, उसके बाद ऑटोमेटिक बैन हो जाएगा, इररिवोकेबल हो जाएगा. तलाकुल हसन becomes ban, BAIN means irrevocable, or irrevocable on the 3rd pronouncement in the 3rd तुहर. So तीन हमारे पास तलाक थे, इनका इफेक्ट इररिवोकेबिलिटी का, बैन का कब होगा? We just saw that. Now, अगर तलाक राइटिंग में हो, a तलाक इन राइटिंग अगर मैनिफेस्ट है, तो जैसे ही वो एग्जीक्यूट होता है, तभी से वो इररिवोकेबल हो जाता है, अनलेस कि कोई कॉन्ट्ररी इंटेंशन उसमें लिखी गई हो. अदरवाइज अ मैनिफेस्ट तलाक, पिछली बार हमने देखा था मैनिफेस्ट तलाक क्या होता है. अ तलाक इन राइटिंग एक्ट्स बिकम्स इररिवोकेबल immediately on its execution. Okay, next question arises, what is the effect of talaq? The biggest effect of talaq is that moment it becomes ban, moment it becomes irrevocable, mutual rights of inheritance between husband and wife immediately cease. ये सबसे बड़ा इफेक्ट होता है, राइट ऑफ इनहेरिटेंस, म्यूचुअल राइट्स ऑफ इनहेरिटेंस बिटवीन हस्बैंड एंड वाइफ सीज. एक इसका फर्क है, छोटा सा वो नोट कर लो, ये मेंस प्रीलिम्स का दोनों का क्वेश्चन है. अगर कोई इररिवोकेबल डिवोर्स हस्बैंड डेथ इलनेस के टाइम पे देता है और इद्दत खत्म होने से पहले वो मर जाता है, तब वाइफ इनहेरिट कर सकती है. ये पॉइंट ध्यान से सुनना, ये क्वेश्चन एग्जाम में आया भी हुआ है, इसको आगे ध्यान रखना. इसका मतलब क्या है? डेथ इलनेस क्या होती है? डेथ इलनेस होती है जहां पे इमीडिएट डेथ एक्सपेक्टेड है. सो वेयर देयर इज एन इमीडिएट डेथ एक्सपेक्टेड एंड ही गिव्स अ डिवोर्स, और वो इररिवोकेबल है, तो वहीं से जैसे ही वो डिवोर्स देता है, औरत का, वाइफ का इद्दत पीरियड शुरू हो जाता है. अब इद्दत पीरियड खत्म होने से पहले हस्बैंड मर जाता है, तो वाइफ इज एंटाइटल्ड टू द प्रॉपर्टी. उसका रीजन क्या है कि बाई चांस लास्ट मोमेंट पे अपना माइंड चेंज कर लेता, इसीलिए एक चीज रखी गई है और दूसरी चीज एक और है। आदमी मर रहा है तो वाइफ को तंग करने के लिए जान के कर जाएगा। दैट इज द रीजन व्हाई आई गेस ये चीज है। सो जहां पे एक डेथ इलनेस है जिसको हम मर्ज उल मौत कहते हैं, MARZ, सेकेंड वर्ड उल UL, थर्ड वर्ड मौत MOUT। तो जहां मर्ज उल मौत है एंड कोई भी आदमी सफर कर रहा है एक डेथ इलनेस से एंड ही इज एक्सपेक्टेड टू डाई in shortly, in that case if he gives divorce, irrevocable divorce to his wife, and he dies before the iddat period finishes, then the wife is entitled to inheritance. In all other cases, moment the divorce becomes irrevocable, then mutual inheritance immediately ceases. I hope I'm clear on this very important aspect. Now, is the power of talaq arbitrary? On the face of it, talaq looks to be a very arbitrary type of divorce. It's a unilateral divorce at the behest of the husband, and no reason has been given. No grounds of divorce have been, talaq have been given. However, Islam is very clear on this. Firstly, he will not exercise it at all. It is not an approved thing to give divorce. तो पहला पॉइंट ये है कि it is not an arbitrary. It's not supposed to be in an unreasonable manner. Firstly, a Muslim male is not supposed to divorce his wife at all. पहला. दूसरा, only if it is unavoidable. He will do it with a sense of justice, जिसको हम कहते हैं अदल। वो अदल के साथ उसको देगा, which means only if it becomes unavoidable he will give talaq with a sense of justice, in brackets write adal, ADL, and rationality, और rationality के साथ। तो जब भी वो कोई डाइवोर्स देता है वो सेंस ऑफ जस्टिस के साथ और सेंस ऑफ रैशनैलिटी। सेंस ऑफ रैशनैलिटी is called in the Holy Quran makuliyat, MAQULIYAT. I repeat, MAQULIYAT, makuliyat. So जब भी उसने डाइवोर्स देना है, पहली बात तो डाइवोर्स देना नहीं है, अगर देना है तो अदल और मकूलियत के साथ देना है, यानी कि सेंस ऑफ जस्टिस एंड रैशनैलिटी के साथ ही देना है। These are the basic demands of Islam from every Muslim. Every Muslim is supposed to follow these tenets which were laid down by no less than the Prophet himself. एक हमारा इंडिया का एक ऑल इंडिया मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड है जो काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें क्लैरिफाई करता है मुस्लिम्स के लिए। उन्होंने एक मॉडल कोड निकाला था मुस्लिम मैरिज पे। In this model code on Muslim marriage, this All India Muslim Personal Law Board has advised Muslims, पहला, don't go for talaqul biddat. So even Muslim Law Personal Board was against talaqul biddat, though it was the most common form of talaq all over India, yet the All India Muslim Personal Law Board was very vehement on this, that there should not be a one sitting talaq, there should not be talaqul biddat. Though it did not ban biddat, but then it said it was not the approved form of talaq. I hope everybody is now clear about the concept of talaq. We have done it in great detail, and I hope everybody is clear on these. The next type of divorce is what we call implied and contingent divorce. What is an implied talaq? ये सारे short notes में कई बार आ जाते हैं, मैं आपको साथ साथ लिखवा रहा हूं। Sometimes the words in a talaq are not clear. For example, he says, I will give up all my relations with you. In such cases, divorce is implied. in all these, in implied divorce cases, the intention of divorce has also always to be seen by the court. So whenever there is not an express word divorce, talaq is not used, but the meaning is the same. For example, as I said, I give up all relations with you. In such cases, divorce is implied. And of course, in all these cases, the intention to divorce has to be proved. What is a contingent divorce? When a husband pronounces divorce, which will take effect on the happening of some future event, then it is called a contingent divorce. That means it gets effective only on the happening of certain event. Example लेते हैं. Suppose he says that in case you go to your parents' house, मेरा divorce मान लो. ये contingent divorce है. So जहां पे वो कोई शर्त रखता है और वो शर्त तोड़ती है अगर वाइफ, तो डाइवोर्स माना जाएगा, वो कंटिंजेंट होता है. हमारे पास एक बहुत बड़ा अच्छा एग्जांपल है जहां दोनों इकट्ठे थे. लेट्स सी दिस केस ऑफ हमद अली, HAMAD, हमद अली वर्सेस इम्तियाजान, IMTIAZAN. हमद अली वर्सेस इम्तियाजान, 1878 का केस है ये. इसमें दोनों इंप्लाइड और कंटिंजेंट दोनों इलस्ट्रेट होते हैं. लेट्स सी क्या था इसमें. इसमें एक हस्बैंड ने अपनी वाइफ को कहा कि तुम मेरी कजन हो जाओगी अगर तुम अपने पेरेंट्स के घर गई. अब इसमें तलाक भी नहीं बोला. यू विल बी लाइक माई कजन. अपनी कजन से शादी नहीं कर सकते. सो यू विल बी लाइक माई कजन if you go to your parents' house. Now, the Allahabad High Court in this case held that it amounted to divorce. It was both implied and contingent. The wife went to the parents' house, so now the divorce was taken to be a divorce. So please remember, if a divorce is made conditionally, impliedly, then of course the intention has to be seen, and it has naturally to be proved more than a ordinary express talaq. You know, these matters come up many times in the courts. वाइफ कहती है जी तलाक नहीं हुआ, हस्बैंड कहता है मैंने दे दिया था. कैसे प्रूव करोगे कि तुम्हें तलाक बोला था? कि नहीं, तलाक नहीं बोला था, उसने ऐसे बोला था. उन्होंने बोला था आज से मेरा कोई रिश्ता नहीं तुम्हारा. तो सर वो तो नहीं है, वो तो गुस्से में बोल देते हैं. वो कहता है नहीं मेरी तो इंटेंशन थी तलाक की. So you know, all these things have to be now thrashed up in the court. ये देखना पड़ता है कि implied था या नहीं, या contingent था या नहीं. All these now naturally depend on evidences. I hope I'm clear on implied and contingent divorce. Also, before I take the next one, please remember one thing, that the Shias don't recognize implied or contingent divorce. Sunnis recognize express, implied, contingent, constructive, and delegated. Shias recognize only two types, express and delegated. बस दो ही हैं, ये खास ख्याल रखना है. जब हम कहते हैं delegated divorce, what is a delegated divorce? Delegated divorce को हम कहते हैं तलाक ए तफवीज. तलाक TALAK तफवीज, TAFWEEZ, तलाक ए तफवीज. ये जो फॉर्म है डाइवोर्स का, दिस इज रिकॉग्नाइज्ड बोथ बाय सुन्नीज एंड शियास. इस पे क्वेश्चन अगेन 5 मार्क्स का आता है शॉर्ट नोट्स में. प्लीज बी वेरी क्लियर. You know, the Muslim husband is allowed to delegate his power of pronouncing divorce on his wife to his wife or any other person. वो अपनी वाइफ को पावर डेलीगेट कर देगा डाइवोर्स करने की। यानी कि अब अगर मैंने अपनी वाइफ को कह दिया कि तुम भी तलाक करा सकती, तुम भी दे सकती हो, मैं तुम्हें ये अपनी पावर टू तलाक तुम्हें देता हूं, डेलीगेट करता हूं। ये बेस्ट चीज है इस्लाम में, वन ऑफ द, क्योंकि अब मैं अपनी वाइफ को, हमारा जब निकाह नामा है उसी में बोल रहा हूं कि मैं तुम्हें पावर दे रहा हूं, डेलीगेट कर रहा हूं, मेरी तलाक की पावर मैं तुम्हें दे रहा हूं। तलाक ए तफवीज। नाउ दिस पावर कैन बी कंडीशनल, कैन बी टेम्पररी, कैन बी परमानेंट। कंडीशनल, अगर मैं दूसरा निकाह करूं तो मैं तुम्हें अपनी पावर डेलीगेट कर रहा हूं कि तुम मुझे तलाक दे सकती हो। टेम्परेरी, पहले 5 साल तक या पहले 3 साल तक मैं तुम्हें निकाह तोड़ने की पावर डेलीगेट कर रहा हूं। या परमानेंट तो फिर परमानेंट है। This power of talaq, which can be delegated to the woman, to the wife, is one of the most cherished forms by the women. If I was to quote Faizi, Faizi क्या कहते हैं? FYZEE, Faizi says, this form of delegated divorce is the most potent weapon in the hands of a Muslim wife to obtain freedom without the intervention of any court. I repeat, this is very important words. Faizi says, FYZEE, Faizi, he says, this form of delegated divorce is the most potent weapon in the hands of a Muslim wife to obtain freedom without the intervention of any court. Now, this is a very fairly common thing in India. इसमें क्या होता है, जब निकाह हो रहा होता है तो जब कबूलनामा बनता है, निकाहनामा बनता है, उसमें वाइफ पहली शर्त रख देती है कि जी तलाक की पावर मुझे भी हो। नॉर्मली अनकंडीशनल तो नहीं होती, कई जगह जो प्रोग्रेसिव बहुत पढ़े लिख गए हैं अगर वो मांग लेते हैं। कंडीशनल तो बहुत कॉमन है कि अगर आपने दूसरा निकाह किया तो मेरे पास पावर है तलाक लेने की। तो इट इज डेफिनेटली वन ऑफ द वेरी वेरी पोटेंट वेपन्स इन द हैंड्स ऑफ अ वाइफ, टू कोट फाइजी। तो एक बार हस्बैंड ने यूनिलैटरली अपनी पावर, अनकंडीशनल पावर दे दी, डेलीगेट कर दी इन हिज कबूलनामा टू हिज वाइफ टू गिव डिवोर्स at her will, then she can validly exercise that power to pronounce divorce. So talaq by woman, of course it is delegated by the man. इसके ऊपर हमारे पास एक केस है, मंगिला, MANGILA, मंगिला वर्सेस नूर हसन, मंगिला वर्सेस नूर हसन, 1992, कैलकाटा हाई कोर्ट। Now this, ये जरूरी नहीं है कि सिर्फ जब निकाह नामा है उसी में ये पावर डेलीगेट की जाए। दिस पावर, डेलीगेशन ऑफ पावर ऑफ डिवोर्स मे बी मेड इवन इन पोस्ट मैरिज। कोई बाद में अगर पोस्ट मैरिज एग्रीमेंट होता है हस्बैंड और वाइफ का, ये बाद में भी दी जा सकती है। इट इज नॉट नेसेसरी दैट इट हैज टू बी लिमिटेड ओनली टू निकाह नामा या कबूलनामा। हमारे पास एक लाहौर हाई कोर्ट का केस है, साइदा वर्सेस अत्ता, SAIDA वर्सेस अत्ता, ATA। दिस इज 1933 लाहौर हाई कोर्ट, जहां पे एक हस्बैंड ने एग्रीमेंट किया था, अपनी पावर डेलीगेट की थी कि अगर उसने दोबारा निकाह किया तो मेरी प्रीवियस वाइफ मुझे तलाक दे सकती है। तो उसने जैसे ही निकाह किया, वाइफ ने उसको तलाक दे दिया, पहली वाइफ ने। मामला चला गया लाहौर हाई कोर्ट में। लाहौर हाई कोर्ट upheld it and they said this is a valid agreement and this is nothing against public policy and this is accepted by Islam, so there is nothing wrong in it. कई बार क्या होता है कि मेंटेनेंस नहीं देने से, या बहुत सारे मामले होते हैं जहां पे वो केयर नहीं कर रहा है, he does not maintain his wife, then also it can be a good ground for divorce by the woman. तो प्रोवाइडेड वो डेलीगेटेड पावर हो। तो क्या एक गार्डियन भी ये एग्रीमेंट कर सकता है? सो प्लीज रिमेंबर, इन डेलीगेटेड डाइवोर्स देयर इज ऑलवेज एन एग्रीमेंट. There is an agreement between the husband who by his free will delegates his power of talaq conditionally, temporarily or permanently as the case may be. Can the agreement of delegated divorce be entered into by a guardian of the minor wife? The answer is yes. We have a case of Calcutta, Marfat Ali, M-A-R-F-A-T, Marfat Ali versus Jabedun Nisa, Jabedunissa, Marfat Ali versus Jabedun Nisa, 1914 Calcutta, where it was held that if the wife is a minor, the guardian can enter into an agreement of talaq-e-tafweez. So I hope now everybody is clear about this very, very important topic of delegated divorce. Very few people know. Everybody thinks तलाक इस्लाम में तो बड़ा ही एक मॉन्स्टरस सी चीज़ है. नो, अब हम जैसे जैसे आगे देखेंगे बहुत सारी पावर्स वाइफ के पास हैं. इट इज़ नॉट जितना कि जैसा कि ब्लैक पिक्चर हमें पेंटेड है वैसा नहीं है. दिस तलाक के तफवीज़ इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. नहीं तो वुमन शुरू में मैरिज मना कर देगी. प्लीज़ रिमेंबर, निकाह उसकी मर्जी के बिना नहीं हो सकता. तो अगर वो अपनी मर्जी कहती है कि मैं तभी आपसे मैरिज करूंगी, निकाह करूंगी, अगर आप मुझे तलाक तफवीज़ की एग्रीमेंट करो मेरे साथ कि अगर आप दूसरी मैरिज करते हो, मेरे पे क्रूअल्टी करते हो या मुझे मेंटेन नहीं करते हो तो ये पावर मेरे पास होगी, नहीं तो मत करो निकाह. बिल्कुल कर सकते हैं. देयर इज नो बार ऑन दिस. So I hope you understood the value of delegated divorce. This is approved by the Holy Quran itself and rather the Sunnah of the Prophet, and that is why it is accepted by both Shias and Sunnis. We run out of time. We'll take it up from here in my next lecture. Thank you. God bless.